Let's now switch gears and focus on the Premier League. Match week 11, let's preview it. One big game sticks out. Big Manchester derby, Man United against Man City. Let's start on that. We have to. Let's just start right there and then. Nick Mendola, Man United obviously had that bounce back win against Tottenham Hotspur last time out in the Premier League. Ronaldo and Cavani were two peas in a pod up top. That's the term from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He said they've been working really well together. Combined age of 70 up top. I mean, the old boys did it best though against Spurs. Do you see them getting another win and going back to back in the Premier League, or because Man City had that shock defeat home against Crystal Palace, so they'll want to show a reaction now as well, won't they? So this is, for me, a very, very just intriguing. That's the best word I can use to sum it up, because I don't think we know what we're going to get from either of these Manchester Giants right now.
Well, what we saw from Man City at midweek playing Bruges was no Ruben Dias, no Fernandinho, Raheem Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne, all kept within, and Gabby Jesus, kept within, 15, 20 minutes. Whereas Manchester United didn't look good with most of their big guys out there. And they rested some guys that show maybe a preference to be defensive in this derby. I personally, this is why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to prove me wrong and probably make me hate him. I see almost no way, even being at Old Trafford, that United wins this game. And I think a draw would be a very big victory for them. Varane being out is massive. Harry Maguire has been bad. I mean, not just like not Harry Maguire. He's been bad for weeks. And Lindelof being in question means Bailly and then not in form Maguire. Pogba wasn't great at midweek against Atalanta as well. And, you know, going back to, we've talked a lot about Ronaldo. He does have a knack for, in the last two games that they've lost, scoring magnificent goals that would have captured the eye and captured highlights and been replayed a million times in results that wouldn't have mattered. So, I mean, he scored that great goal in the Liverpool game and it wouldn't have counted. So I just think that this is a very, very big hill to climb for Manchester United. And it's also the first game for Solskjaer since it became clear that of the traditional big six, he's the sixth best manager.
That's true, especially with Antonio Conte turning up at Tottenham now. He'll obviously be a little bit relieved, I think, by that, to see him going to another club, and that's one other manager that's taken out of the potential replacements for him. Andy, when I look at this game, it seems kind of similar to the Liverpool one, where Man City can run riot and expose all these gaps in the Man United defence, with Shaw and Maguire having a tough time and Varane being out. But also, to me, it does maybe suit Man United that they can set up in a back five almost, right? And then hit City on the counter, as they were pretty susceptible against Palace last time out. And United have top players like Cavani, Fernandes, Ronaldo, as we saw against Spurs, who can make the most of those counter-attacking opportunities. So do you see, like Nick said, it just being Man City's going to win this? Or can you see a scenario where United might sneak a draw, and all things considered, that's not a bad result for Solskjaer and they can regroup over the international break and come back strong again?
Yeah, if I can link two topics here really quickly and then answer that question, isn't it just another kind of hilarious misstep for United that we're talking about Solskjaer and we're talking about Conte to be the obvious replacement, and they're apparently really interested, but just not right now. And they sit on their hands just long enough for somebody else in the Premier League to go and hire him right away. And so now, is there an obvious choice and step up from Solskjaer? So does that actually change his job security? Because there's not the obvious. A question for another day on the game coming. But it is, you know, it's just another example of United being United, kind of like Spurs being Spurs. On this game, this looks a lot like Liverpool United to me. I guess, Joe, I'll ask you, how does this game play differently than that game did? Because, you know, it doesn't matter where it's played. That was made clear in the 5-0. It doesn't really matter who Solskjaer picks because it's such an imbalanced team. Like, other than playing 5 at the back and trying to play for a 0-0 at home against your closest rival, like, what? I just don't see a path forward for this United team in this game.
I think that's the difference between this and Liverpool. I think they went into the Liverpool game thinking we can go toe-to-toe with them. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to try and attack and win the game. I think United go into this game thinking we will gladly take a 0-0 or even, dare I say, a 1-0 or 2-0 defeat as long as we don't get embarrassed. And there are very low expectations. The bar was was here before the Liverpool game. Now it's down here before the Man City game. So I think Solskjaer has that at least working in his favour, if you can say that. But it was quite shocking, the performance away at Atalanta. They should not have got a point from that game. Ronaldo rescued it for them again. So I just can see that happening again randomly. I think City haven't been taking the chances that they've been creating a lot of games this season. They really haven't found that roof. Some games they have, some games they haven't. As I said, a little bit hit and miss, Man City. People say they haven't got number 9. I don't really think that's part of it. I just think that sometimes the attacking midfielders they have click and it works, and sometimes it doesn't. That's the beauty of Pep Guardiola's, or all the issues with Pep Guardiola's system and his philosophy. But I could see it being a draw, but like I'm kind of with Nick. I could see this being a blowout win for Man City. And then next week when we chat, we're going to be talking about more pressure on Solskjaer, and then maybe looking towards Brendan Rodgers or Erik ten Hag or someone else to come in and try and solve the situation. But yeah, we'll go down that road when we can get to it again. But Man City, Man United is going to be one heck of a game. At Pro Soccer Talk, NBCSports.com. We'll keep you covered with all the latest news from a big Manchester derby, which will really set the tone for both of those teams heading into the international break.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch highlights all season long, and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend at 7 a.m. Eastern. And for even more content, head over to Peacock, where we've got live games, original series, and a dedicated round-the-clock Premier League channel featuring studio shows, classic matches, and much more.